Hey everybody, it's Joey Tuccio with Roadmap, and I'm here with the amazing Nick Alexky. Nick is an amazing producer, and he's been really great with our writers. And I just want to do a quick interview with him so you guys can get like more information about him and just learn more about this amazing producer. So Nick, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Let's see, originally from the DC area, Maryland. Been out here about 10 years. Originally thought I wanted to write and direct, and then I came out here, started interning kind of in management and in production, kind of everywhere, running around town. Realized pretty quickly that writing wasn't really for me. I really liked the other side of the table, reading stuff, recommending stuff, talking with managers, just kind of being in the thick of it. And that really solidified when I kind of got my big break at APA, a talent agency. I worked for a TV agent. It didn't take too long being an assistant to an agent that I realized, yeah, I really like this side of the business. Did my year at the agency, moved from there to a production company called Real Effects. And I was there for 4 years. Got promoted a couple of times. We made a couple lower budget thrillers. About 3.5 years in, we started to move into the VR space. And I said, you know what, that's cool, but not really for me. And so I started to form my own little exit strategy. I had been saving up money for several years. I had been, developing a bunch of projects kind of on my own. I had just been building my network, my relationships kind of across town, agents, managers, executives here and there. And then, yeah, finally 2 years ago, hit the ground running, started my own LLC, Mischief Entertainment, started developing film and TV projects. And the focus of the last couple of years has simply been partnering with bigger producers. For instance, I have a horror with Broken Road. I've got a thriller with Anonymous Content. I've got a sci-fi thriller with Dan Farah, who produced Ready Player One. I'm co-producing my first studio project, 1031, which just got a green light at MGM Orion. And yeah, the focus is mostly features, but TV as well, like I said, working with Samantha Bee's company, working with Fanfare, who has a deal at ABC Studios, and constantly hungry for new film and TV projects, reading everything, watching everything, and hoping to find that next big fun idea.
I know you've done a lot of programs with us, whether it's like the top tier roundtables or pitch sessions. Have you connected with any of the writers through us? Like, just curious, like what the response from you has been with our writers.
Yeah, I would say I connected. I've connected with a few writers. Most notably, one writer who led to this horror that I'm doing now with Eli Roth's company, that's set up at MGM. I've met a handful of good writers over the years who I've stayed in touch with, and every time they're maybe out here in LA, we grab a coffee and catch up. The roadmap, it's been a great service, and of course I've known you for many years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been valuable, of course.
So, what do you look for in a script?
It's kind of the the old adage that I always try and stress to people who are kind of looking to break in, and that is concept is king.
Mhm.
The idea is always going to outweigh kind of everything else at the start. And I say that because, what really gets people, executives, managers, agents, whoever, excited about reading something is that initial concept, that initial kind of setup. Another way to think about it is, you are on YouTube or you're in a movie theater and you see that trailer kind of flash across. You're immediately going to know, half a minute in, what that movie is going to be, or on TV, what that series is going to be.
Yeah.
So whenever I hear a concept, I always kind of think, A, is it kind of fresh and novel and fun? But B, is it something that feels accessible and feels that more than just a small niche market can really kind of grasp it? I'm developing a lot of genre. I'm developing a lot of comedy. And I always reference, for instance, movies on the genre side, movies like Don't Breathe or A Quiet Place. These are movies maybe you've seen, maybe people have seen, but They are very kind of specific ideas that you see the trailer and you get it. You see the poster afterwards and you understand it. On the comedy side, I reference comedies of recent, like Blockers and Game Night. You know, kind of big, broad, fun studio ideas. And again, you see the trailer, and very quickly you get it. You see the poster, and it kind of solidifies the excitement, the fun, the potential of that idea. So generally, kind of big ideas, whether it's thriller, horror, comedy, rom-com. I am developing a couple true story dramas, and those are maybe a little bit trickier because you kind of have to gauge, well, sure, you might have a true story, but is it that exciting? Is it that kind of, is it really relevant? Is it a true story surrounding a big kind of theme that is exciting and accessible to people? Is it a true story that we've seen, too many times? Dramas can be a little bit trickier, if I'm being honest. And true stories are, can always be subjective as to who would want to see that, or this or that. So, that just kind of comes down to taste. Is the drama going to be something surrounding a character or a group of characters that just kind of feels like it's in the conversation right now, it's in the zeitgeist? But yeah, it's always going to be the idea for me, first and foremost.
Yeah. And I feel like that's like true with 1031, that you were super excited about it. When you heard the pitch, you picked it up, and you have to be passionate about it to obviously push it all the way along to greenlight. Otherwise, there's only so much energy that a person has. You have to be really excited at it from the beginning. And then the last question is, I guess, out of all like dialogue, description, concept, I think you kind of already answered this a little bit, but is there one element that you really connect to or look for in a script more than any other one?
After concept, assuming the concept is there already, and I'm in it to win it, and now reading it, I always say dialogue is what separates the rookies from the pros. When it comes to action description, and kind of, set pieces maybe and sequences, I love reading that stuff. Whether it's a comedy or a horror or an action or, a thriller, the kind of fun, different daring set pieces can be colorful and fun. And that action description, reading that can be a lot of fun. When it comes to dialogue, that's often where I find you can kind of tell the difference between writers who are maybe just starting out and writers who have been at it for a while. And, with that, writers who are not just writing constantly and watching movies and TV constantly, but reading constantly. And that's something I can't stress enough. After your idea, are you reading scripts? Are you reading pilots? Are you reading the blacklist scripts? Are you reading, winners that come out of Page or Final Draft or Roadmaps, your contests? Are you reading these scripts that are kind of rising to the top? And again, when it comes to TV stuff, are you reading those pilots that are being set up, at the studios, at the streamers? The only way for writers to, really learn on top of writing all the time and watching and studying the craft and all of that, is to just kind of be constantly reading. With that, your dialogue is only going to really improve, kind of having that eye and that kind of sense of how dialogue flows and when to enter a conversation, when to leave it, when maybe silence is more important than saying something for the sake of saying something. But yeah, that's all going to come from just reading and working and refining and honing in on your craft.
Well, Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.